Testing, hot outbound call. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to hear?
Are you ready?
Make the approach. Plant your feet firmly in the ground. Head down. Eyes on the ball. Relax. That's it. Get your left arm straight. Your right arm straight. Relax. Lower your right shoulder. Go!
The Honeymooners Podcast, the only podcast that is all about the greatest show of all time. With the stars, Joe Conti and Louis Fats.
Welcome, fellow raccoons and members of the Women's Auxiliary. What's happening, all you Hurricanes, Bensonhurst Bombers, and all you Dr. Seiferts of the world? You are listening to the Honeymooners Podcast with me, Joe Conti, and my pal, Louis Fats.
Yes, I did, Cramden. You got away with some kind of fluke. But before I believe that malarkey, you got to prove it to me.
The only comedy podcast all about the greatest show of all time, Joe Fensterblau. We record in the Non-Productive Studios at 328 Chauncey Street in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review. The home base is Non-Productive.com /honeymooners if you just want to listen, or if you want to buy some T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yep. Like our Honeymooners Podcast Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. And if you want to leave a voicemail, call 240-442-2635, or you can email us at
bangzoom1956@gmail.
What's happening, Lou?
Joe, number 76.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the spirit. We have...
That's the spirit.
The Groucho Marx. We have 276s from the Cleveland Browns. And this is funny because they played currently, but the 76 was Ludoto Groza and Marion Motley.
I remember Marion Motley
Right.
always seeing. It was the Browns, but it almost looked like he was in a white.
Yeah, there was always the white Browns uniform.
Okay.
It was a white Browns uniform. And
He was a giant.
Well, at the day, he was like 240 pounds.
Right,
It
right.
was like towering over. He was just like, I don't know if you remember the old Japanese Starman movies when they all jump on Starman and just throw everybody off.
Oh, okay.
That's what Marion Motley
That's
was like.
Marion.
The people just like falling off.
And he was
of
probably 6'4",
He was
200.
He was 6'1", 238 pounds.
He was 6'1"?
6'1", 238 pounds, but he looked like a monster on the field.
Looked huge.
Yeah. That's
Oh
all he
my
was. That's all he was, yeah. And so he wore 76. Lou the Toe Groza, who was a old-fashioned straight-on kicker, and he had this square-toe shoe.
Oh, okay.
He had that square-toe shoe, and he played a long time with the Browns, 46 to 67.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
21 years.
Yeah, so him and Marion, they both wore, and then Lou wore 46 at the beginning, then 76 because he was an offensive tackle also.
Gotcha.
And then Marion had to switch to 36 because I think that's when that number thing, the legal numbers came in.
Right, where if you're wearing these, you have to be an offensive lineman.
Right. So they're better for the referee to follow. So
Correct.
That's it. They both, and then of course we have Steve Mongo McMichael.
I remember him from the
Bears.
the Bears.
The Bears, that Super Bowl championship Bear team.
Yeah, the 85 Bears.
85 Bears. Yeah. So he was there, and he was also a wrestler.
Oh, really?
He was affiliated with WWF and WCW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
he was
he
with both
was
of them. Yeah.
He was like a
Yeah,
full-blown entertainer.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. He was an announcer doing color commentary, the whole bit. So
Nice.
he's got a little dealing with health issues right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we wish him the best.
Absolutely.
Phil Mongo, Steve Mongo McMichael. So you Bears fans,
Mongo like candy. Oh man. So anyway, before we get started, we want to talk about our fantastic and one and only sponsor, Silk City Hot Sauce. Go to silkcityhotsauce.com, right? Go get yourself some great homemade hot sauce because it can't hurt you, pal. Can't harm you. Can't harm you, pal.
Homemade.
Hey, this is great.
This is great.
We're gonna have all that. We're gonna have all
good.
those clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have all the
Yeah,
clips.
we're got a good advertising.
Hey, this is great. I never tasted anything like this before. Hey. But anyway, some wonderful.
That's coming.
Yes, that's coming down the pike.
Something to look forward to.
Some great hot sauce, right? I was never a hot sauce guy, and I love it because I like Slurp, which is like a peach flavored, and then there's the mango flavored one.
Yep. Not the mango flavor.
No, not mango flavored. mango like candy with hot sauce all over it. But so go get yourself some great homemade hot sauce. It's our pal Jeff Kingfish Levinsky. He's a raccoon. He's one of us.
Yep.
And when you go to SilkCityHotSauce.com, when you go to checkout, you put RX in the coupon code and get yourself 15% percentage off of your order and a free bottle.
We have to be clear about that.
And a free bottle of cherry. We don't even rehearse this, all right?
Really? That sounds like we've been rehearsing for months.
And then get yourself a free bottle of cherry sriracha. Go get yourself some great hot sauce.
Yes.
He's great. He puts some. They're just great.
Yeah.
It's just great stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, and Louis loves Badass
I love
Jew,
Badass
right?
Jew, yeah. I love Badass Jew, and the other, what's the other one? The taco something?
Taco Fiesta.
Taco Fiesta. That's a good one. And
I
like
like too.
smoking.
It's not too hot.
Not too hot. Badass Jew's a little on the hot side because it's like I said, it's a combination of a lot of peppers. It's
Right.
good. And I also like just the plain old smoking.
Smoking?
Smoking's good. Yeah.
I gotta try. I don't think I tried that.
Yeah.
I have it. Because we're special. We get
the top of the line.
Yeah, top of the line, meaning it's free. But believe me, I don't have it. I don't eat it just because it's free.
Yeah,
it's very
good,
delicious.
Good stuff.
So, all right. Before we get going with the show, I just wanted to bring up real quick, and I think everybody's starting to know that me and my wife, we've been watching a lot of old movies lately. We've been watching TCM, Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah.
And all through August, they feature all these different great actors, and and on Saturday, September 11th,
yes.
they did a nice thing where they featured all movies about that took place in New York.
Took place in New York, set in New York.
And there was a movie called Sweet Smell of Success with Burt Lancaster and Tony Curtis. And it was a good movie. It's a good movie, but the one bar that Tony Curtis goes into, when they show it, it's Toots Shor's. And I'm watching it, and look, we don't know if it's the inside is Toots Shor's, but they show the front. And then I go, honey, to my wife, look, it's Toots Shor's. She's like, yeah, can you go get me a drink of iced tea? I'm like, no idea why I care.
Now, this is before Tony Curtis appeared as Stony Curtis on the
Flintstones. Stony Curtis. Oh, God, I love the Flintstones, but enough with the rock references. Oh, my God. But yes. So that was my little thing, and I just wanted to share the
Toots Shor's, and that's where Gleason was. What year was that? You remember the year the movie was made?
57.
Oh, so Gleason could have been on the floor. You didn't even know. They may have stepped over him in the
You just heard, whoa. So, excuse me, but it's getting dusty on that hall.
There it is. Ooh,
dusty on that hall. So, we wanted to get started with it. We have a lot of stuff to.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff, and we also have something that was partly inspired by one of our listeners, pals. And so, first, we're going to get into it's becoming a double kind of a. I don't know how you would say a double.
It's like a segue kind of thing.
Kind of a segue kind of thing.
We start out with
trouble
something
kind of thing.
and it segues right into the next bit.
Yes. And this is the first one.
The Honeymooners podcast presents the one and done player of the week.
All right.
Yeah.
That's our pal Bruce Martin. Who sounds like he just buried somebody in the back of his backyard.
And that show on A&E, Buried in the Backyard.
Buried in the Backyard.
IDT, where it's on ID, I think, on ID, which I watch all the time.
Yes.
And I'm waiting to see Bruce. But
So, our first one and done player of the week is Judy Connors.
Yes.
Played by Suzanne Miller. Right? And I was like surprised that she didn't really do anything else.
No.
This was pretty much it. I found out as I dug a little bit, she was in theater and she became a writer and a theatrical director.
Right.
She did a lot of writing. She did a lot of, I guess, like screenplays and stuff
like that.
for mostly, like they said, it was more like autobiographical type of things, probably things that happened in her life, and she wrote about it. Born in Toledo, 1935.
Yeah.
And she died in 1994, 59 years old.
59 years old, yeah.
Here's the thing. In the episode, she was 20.
20 years old.
She did look. Now, look, I don't know if she looked 14.
Yeah.
But she did look like a little kid.
Yeah, she looked like a little. She's smallish to begin
Right,
with.
she's a small, little, petite little girl.
Petite little girl, yeah.
And, and hey, I thought she did a great
Yeah,
job.
she was
You know,
great.
she had the little...
She had a little flub in there. It was good, though. But
It was a bebop contest.
So it was... It gave us flub of the week one. It's giving us two things.
Two things,
Thanks,
yeah.
Now, I was telling Joe
Yes.
before the show, we were doing this Judy Connors thing, Suzanne Miller, looking her up on IMDb. And I said, Joe, I swear, I think I mentioned this on the show before. Joe, I swear I could have saw her on an Abbott and Costello episode.
Correct. That's what you said.
The half-hour ones, the ones with Mr. Pachikalup and
when
Mr.
they come
Fields.
on the stage and then the
with the
curtains
curtain,
close
yeah,
and
and
they
the
do
holds the thing up in front of Costello. So those shows, not the
Right.
movies, those shows, which
Right.
I loved, which I adore those shows. They're phenomenal.
Yes.
And I could have sworn I saw her make an appearance on that show. When I'm saying to myself, looking at one, saying, "Hey, that's Judy Connors."
Right.
Not knowing she was Suzanne Miller at the time,
Suzanne
because
Miller,
I
of
was looking
course,
at her.
right.
I only knew her as Judy Connors.
Judy Connors, right.
So, but we looked through it and could not find anything on IMDb about it.
And
not a credit, no credit.
Look, IMDb's not 100%.
No, they're not.
Obviously,
They're not.
If anybody knows, we would
Yeah.
be curious to know if she was ever on there, and maybe it was just kind of like almost. But you said she had like a couple of lines.
If anybody out there's an Abbott and Costello fan and remembers, it was the one where Costello was running for office.
Oh boy.
And he was in the park and he's giving his speech, and Abbott's like obviously his campaign manager, and all these young girls are coming up the stage and they're crying, and I lost my daddy's shoes, and Abbott's saying, "All right, give me your shoes," and then come girl, "Oh, I lost my daddy's shirt or something. Give me your shirt." So that's it, and I think she's one of the girls that comes up on the stage.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody knows that episode and you can find it, play it and let me know what you think.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, because it would be interesting
It would
to
be
know
interesting to know if that was actually Suzanne Miller.
and maybe why it didn't come up on
IMDb. Yeah.
or something like that. But
Anyway,
so we wanted to play a little bit of Judy
God,
Connors.
you have to
play.
Hi, Mrs. Cramden.
Hi, Mrs. Cramden.
Something wrong, Judy? Wrong. Oh, nothing could ever be wrong again. I've just met the coolest dreamboat ever.
Oh, you're in love again.
Not again, Mrs. Cramden. This is it. I finally found my superatomic passion. I'm going to be his angel cake forever and ever. I'll be Wallace's for all eternity.
Wallace?
Wallace?
What happened to Freddie?
Oh, Mrs. Cramden. Freddie was so icky. A real termite.
chairman at the entertainment committee at the
Strictly out of
Raccoon
the
Lodge.
woods. Besides, he was a mere child. Wallace is a real man.
Realized there was another friend.
Oh, yeah, we using our
Just
Freddie.
How old is this Wallace?
He's almost 18.
Oh.
He's a real man.
In real life,
of
I'm
the
20,
world.
but-
I've got a date with him tonight.
I'm a woman of the world.
I'm robbing the cradle here.
I hope you don't think I've been too nervy, but I've asked him to meet me up here at your
I've been too
apartment.
nervy. I'm
Nervy.
posing as a 14-year-old.
Did you call me?
Trying to get Wallace in trouble.
No, of course I don't mind, but why haven't meet you here?
Well, he's never met my father, and I don't want to take any chances.
Sorry, Suzanne, we're
Well,
talking over you, but
Where
that's
are you
what
and
we do.
Wallace going to go tonight, Judy?
Talk over each
We're
other.
going over to the amusement park.
You're not escaping this.
And we're going to go roller skating. See, they're having a bop contest.
There it is. There it
And we're
is.
going to go on some of the rides.
Yes.
Like the roller coaster,
Uh-huh.
the tunnel of love.
Yes.
Oh, boy, you kids certainly have fun. Roller skating, bop contest. Oh, dear, Ralph and I haven't done anything like
All
that
right,
in
I've had
years.
enough of
Oh,
you.
how
I'm
you
leaving.
doing, Miss
Guy,
Cramden?
goodbye.
Well, listen, as soon as
She's like, you're
Wallace
boring me,
gets
old
here, you'll
person.
come, won't you? Yes, I will, and don't you worry. Oh, you're a doll, Mrs. Cramden.
Okay,
Bye.
Judy. Bye-bye.
And I just love how Alice doesn't pick up on the fact that it's a new person because she's like, I just met somebody.
Yeah.
She's like, what about Freddie?
Freddie.
You mean the guy from 6 months ago? You're not listening to me, Mrs. Cramden? He's a new guy. But yes, that's Judy Connors.
Judy Connors, Suzanne Miller.
The great
The
Suzanne
great
Miller.
Suzanne. Everybody
Yeah.
on the show's great.
Everybody.
Because nobody probably ever in their lives call them great or consider them great, but to us, they're great. There's only one Judy Connors.
There's only one Judy Connors, yeah.
And that's why she's the one and done player of the week.
Yeah. You would think her name was Sarah Connors, how she disappeared. Never seen again. I'm here for Sarah Connors. All right, I'm doing bad impressions now. So that is our one and done of the week. Okay? So now...
And you know what happened? You always know what follows one and done.
One and done, right?
Yeah.
But now, we kind of have this.
The Honeymooners podcast proudly presents the many faces of...
And thanks for nothing.
Ken Lynch.
All right, we finally have our right now our interim episode
introduction. We're going to work on that.
We might work on it. We might do tweak the voice a little bit and
bring the music down a little.
Yeah, bring the music.
Yeah, we got it.
But we just put
it
it together today.
Yeah.
But it's the many faces of Ken Lynch.
And Ken Lynch doesn't care. He'll play anybody.
He will.
Women, he don't care.
Oh yeah, he's like the modern day De Niro.
Yeah,
he doesn't say no.
No, he don't say no. He'll play a 14-year-old girl. 14 years old.
14 years old. He runs. Yeah. 14 years old with three fingers.
And Ken Lynch said, "Yeah, well, look at me. I'm 13."
But we were wondering, what would Ken Lynch be like playing
Connors.
Judy Connors? And I don't know. It'd be like, "Hey, what's up there? What is he? Hey, nuclear passion. I'm your angel cake.
Atomic passion. Get it right.
Yeah.
Get your physics right.
Hey, atomic passion. Thanks for nothing. I'm going into the tunnel of love, right?
I'm going you. Hey, Wallace, you got that percolating thing down there? Get it going.
Hey, you got that jalopy all warmed up down there, percolating, ready to go?
Now remember, I'm only 14. You're 18. Remember, still a minor.
There's only 4 states in the United States that allow an 18-year-old to date a 14-year-old, all right?
If you're a Harvey Weinstein, be okay, but you're not. You're Wallace.
Jimmy Connors. I tell you, Freddie, he's strictly out of the wood. A real termite.
Yeah, a termite. He's a real termite.
Real termite over there.
He's out of the woods.
I love Ken Lynch.
We're going over to the amusement park. I don't know, something about some freaking crazy house. I don't know what the hell.
A crazy house.
I don't know what the hell he wants to do.
Do you know how many crazy houses I visit when I'm detecting out there in New York? We call those drug dens, all right?
And we also got to go to a buff dance contest. You think that's easy to say? You try it. Cramden, Mrs. Cramden. You know something? You're a real doll.
Yes. Hey, would you mind telling my father not? I don't want my father to know. Sure, no problem. And thanks for nothing. All right. That is our Ken Lynch. The many faces of Ken Lynch. Ken Lynch, if he played Judy Connors,
and he plays them all. Judy Connors, everybody, right? To Carlos Sanchez. From Judy Connors to Carlos Sanchez.
It's a little bizarre having Ken Lynch play a 14-year-old girl. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah, but she was 20 in real life.
Yeah, she was 20 in real life, so that's okay. Oh, my God. All right. All right, before we go down a road that we can't come back from. Yeah. Let's get into our next little segment here. And our next little segment is something that we've been doing regularly, and we're going to get started, and it's one of our favorite intros.
Oh, that's why we do it.
Really
we just want to hear the intro.
I know, we really don't.
We don't even have material for some week. We're just going to play the intro.
Yeah, we don't even really care. We make up something after we do the intro because we just love it so much. And here we go.
Hear ye, verily, hear ye. The Honeymooners podcast now presents Ad Lib or Not an Ad Lib. That is the question.
Oh, the great Dave Ingram. Oh my God, just great.
It's worth it just to tune into this stupid podcast.
just
to
that.
Hear that.
Just
now
for that.
Now you can turn it off. And just
exactly. We already have the.
Go back and mow the lawn, whatever the heck you're doing.
We got the clicks.
Yeah, that's it.
We have the listens. Yep, you're considered a listener now. So, All right. Now, this one, you know what? It's really not an ad lib or not ad lib with this one.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, Joe, explain why.
Of course, we take something that we're not sure if it's if it was an ad lib or not,
Right.
and we debate.
We debate, right.
And then sometimes we get our pals.
Yes, to chime in. That's what we want.
To chime in. But unfortunately, this one is
kind of like
been
spearfishing.
told. Yeah, like kind of like spearfishing. We just know it was an ad lib, and it was confirmed by one of the writers. From the show, Leonard Stern.
Leonard Stern.
And of course,
We'll play
it is this.
And it's
I better be getting home now. How do I get out of here?
Well, the elevator's right there, but first you have to check out at the receiving desk down the end of the corridor.
Oh, I see. RX.
Might be the greatest ad lib.
It is the greatest ad lib.
It might be the greatest ad lib of all time.
Now, here's the
let
thing.
alone the show.
Oh, God, yeah. Now, here's the thing, Joe. If we didn't, I believe Brother Biv sent us that link for that interview with Leonard Stern. Okay, so we listened to the link, sent us a link for the interview with Leonard Stern.
Right.
And he basically says it was.
Yes.
So now, if we don't see this link and we don't watch this interview with Leonard Stern, we would be discussing this.
I know.
But the bad thing is we know it is, but it's probably still open for discussion amongst people. Just the way, just the way it plays out.
Well, here's the question: did they just say, and then you just say
Here's
goodbye?
the question.
Right. Here's the question.
Hear
ye, brotherly, hear ye. But oh, it's getting dusty in that hall.
getting dusty in this wall here. Here it is
Excuse
again.
me. But you know what? Here's the question.
Yeah.
Do you think it was an ad lib because they said, hey, listen, when you just, at that point, he says, check down the hallway. You say, see you later,
Okay.
goodbye.
Or, thank you, Doc, or something.
However
like
you want to say it.
However you want to, however you want to leave the scene.
That could be it because it's either that or they just said, you just walk away.
Walk away, yeah.
And Art Carney either said, hey, you know what? RX. Goodbye. Maybe he was supposed to say goodbye or later or
Whatever.
whatever it
he's
is.
supposed to say. Now, the thing about it, too, Joe, is if you look at Dr. Seifert and his face.
Yes.
And he's like taken aback.
He actually he does a double take.
He does a
turns
double take.
back and then shakes his
head, and there's a little smirk on his face.
Yes.
So the Carney actually got him.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
That's how
being an ad lib. So,
absolutely. You do.
So if you forget about the Leonard Stern thing and look at it through this the way me and Joe are looking at it now, with the smirk on Doctor's face.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's like it's almost like when you shake your head and you're like, what a kook.
Yeah.
When you do that, like, what a nut.
Yeah.
That's the look. That's what he did when he shook his head.
Shook his head. Like, I can't believe he said that. It's like
to me, and we're gonna have to do a top 5 best.
Oh, we'll do
ad-libs.
top 5 best ad libs.
So one of you maniacs remind us that because me and Lou we
forget
forget everything.
We don't write things down. And but this has to be the best because it's become RX has become part of our vernacular.
Yeah.
It's like how we all sign off now to a text message to a Honeymooner fan or something. I end every text with RX.
Yeah,
Me and Joe
on
back
Facebook,
and forth.
RX, like saying goodbye to somebody or whatever.
Yeah. RX.
It's RX.
Even when people email me and comes to my email and I forward it to Joe, it's always ended with RX. So it's become.
Yeah. And now I tag the ending now
to our show
after Louis' night all. I throw an RX in there.
RX because that's the sign off sign. Like it's done. Everything's done. Like even RX.
And tell me every time.
Yeah.
Every time you're watching TV and the good RX commercial
Oh,
comes
God, it's the
on.
first thing I think of.
It's the only thing I think of. I don't even know what the commercial's
Yeah,
about. I'm like, is it about ad-libs on old classic TV shows? I just lose my focus because I just think of RX. I think of the great Art Carney. And the way he kind of...
Yeah, that's
almost
like that sign-off with the hand.
That sign-off thing, like later.
Yeah, later.
Not a salute, not a
salute,
military
not a
salute, but the...
Like
later.
Like I'll see ya.
Yeah, I'll see ya.
Yeah, something like that.
It's just so perfect.
And that is. So we think it is, because Leonard Stern said it.
Yep.
So we got to believe him.
If you look for Leonard Stern interview, I think it's and they
it's a couple of parts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part 4.
Oh, it is
part 4 is
okay.
almost all about the Honeymooners.
Leonard part 4.
Leonard part. That's the prequel to Leonard part 6.
Yeah. 2 episodes before.
Right. It's a real knockout.
So yeah, it's worth it. Maybe Joe, you could post on the.
Yeah,
put it up on the page.
Put it on there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll do that.
I'm not going to do it. No. You'll never read this interview.
Louis will come by and build a deck on my house if I have to. But I'll be like, "Can you post that?" He'd be like, "Yeah, you got any wood? You got any wood? Get the nails going on here. All right, good." So
that's it. Definitive RX.
Absolutely.
Ad-lib.
There's no doubt about it. Now this next, and this is going to be the crux of the show. Okay.
Yeah.
This came from one of our. The idea kind of came from one of our pals,
yes.
Right? And he, our pal Michael Bruce, right? And he was telling us about some of the things that, like, when we all watch these shows, there are certain things that we can't stop thinking about. We're like, why is that happening? You know, kind of what we all are doing now.
What we're doing now.
You know, and we all had those maybe 1 or 2 things. Now we all got all of it going on.
Yeah.
We're all, every episode, we're like, why is this happening? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But Michael Bruce sent me a thing, and it was about the Mambo episode, right? And so he's talking about the utter madness of how they're all reacting, Ralph and Ed, and even Mr. Manicotti, how they're reacting to Carl Sanchez.
Right.
Now, it's not what you think, obviously, because it's not because Carl Sanchez is Spanish or anything like that. And here it is. And I'm going to read this part from Michael. Carlos Sanchez is a halfway decent-looking guy. So, therefore, I, Ralph, should completely tear apart New York City. And, of course, the Honeymooners is real to us. But it's like you said, imagine in real life this guy comes in, and it's so embarrassing the way he acts. You know, he looks at Norton like, I know what you're going through. They suddenly have this major mountain of a catastrophe of a problem because Carlos Sanchez moved in the building. Who teaches dance classes?
Dance class. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing.
That's all he's doing. He never really, like, they make it like, because he said, oh, those delicate hands of yours.
Yeah.
And because, and really it comes down to this, and I just thought of it now. It's because of the way Alice reacts to them.
Yes.
And then, of course, it's the cake, the potato salad.
Yes, potato salad.
Becoming a couple of welcome wagons.
Yeah.
So now all of those things are what making these guys get crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is the worst thing that's going on
right now
in Bensonhurst
right now. Carlos Sanchez is teaching someone a dance.
A dance. So we decided to just go over it a little bit, me and Lou, before the show. And we want to go from when Ralph walks in, when they're all dancing.
Yes.
And we're going to play a little of that because we're going to take what Michael told us.
That's such a great scene.
We're going to go and elaborate a little bit more. And here we go. Louis loves the transition.
I love that transition right
there. There we go. Anyway.
That's wonderful. You're doing it better every day.
Now
I'm going to put on some mambo music, and we'll see how it sounds with that.
It's also great.
Tonight you can try it with your husband when they come home.
And tonight you can try it with your husbands when you come home. That doesn't sound like a guy who's trying to weasel his way to date all the girls in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, girls, make sure you try this with your husbands. Not, why don't you come dance with me?
Come down to the club.
Come down to the Copacabana or whatever.
The Latin Quarter and dance mambo.
Here we go.
Let's see, what have we got?
Eastern
Tito
European
Rodriguez, Claves for mambo.
Claves for mambo.
Pardon me, Carlos.
There
You
she
think
is.
I have the hip movement?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Angelina.
That's fine, Mrs. Monica.
Yes, you
That's
do.
just fine. You are going to be a wonderful mambo dancer. All right.
You
here we
think
go.
so? I don't think so. Now, obviously.
Yeah, they're doing a thing.
Yeah. It's Carlos with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Five women.
And then here comes the maniac.
Listen to the audience, Joe.
They just could feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it. Just nothing's being said.
Yep. You know what's funny? You realize that? There is a constant barrage of laughter going on for like 25 seconds.
Which is extremely long.
I never realized that.
And there's nothing being said.
There's nothing being
It's
said.
all physical.
It's assumptive.
Yes.
And they're just watching his reaction.
Yes.
Which we all know that Gleason was a great reactor.
Oh, God. That was one of his things.
It's one of his things.
What's going on here?
Nothing, Ralph. Carlos was just teaching us to do the mambo.
That's right, Ralph. Carlos was just teaching us to do the mambo.
I'll say that is 100% true.
Yeah.
He was just teaching them to do the mambo.
Now, think about this, too. We said this before the show. We're preparing this thing. And we're saying he walks into a room there's 5 women in there and Carlos and the record player. This isn't one-on-one. It's not he walked in on Alice getting a
private
lesson.
Right.
Which
from
Carlos, so this is like what gets me also with this explosion. There's 5 women in there.
Yes.
So if it's one-on-one, then maybe what the heck is going on here?
Absolutely. All right.
No more fudge cake for you.
Yeah.
Just Trixie's potato salad.
Oh.
We need a new
Carlos was teaching us to do the mambo.
Oh.
That puts a different light on everything.
Of course.
For a minute there, when I walked in here, I didn't know what you were doing.
I don't know what he thought they were doing.
Now I know. Carlos was teaching us the mambo. That makes a world of difference. Everybody!
Yes. So funny. So funny.
And you, at your age, should be ashamed of yourself. Now out!
All right, girls, I guess we better call it quits for today.
Quits for today? You'll call it quits for today? Tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year you'll call it quits.
And this is a great
And as for you, Rudolph Valentino, out!
What a great bow tie on a rant right there.
Yep.
Hold on. All right. So now, I was telling Lou this. Take it that we're out of the Honeymooners universe for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All you gentlemen out there that may have wives, if you come home from work and your wife is there with somebody you know, your neighbor, and 4 or 5 other women
from the building,
and they're dancing.
Yeah, from the building. Oh, you know all the women.
You know all the women.
They're from the building.
Absolutely. Everybody's all dressed
Yes,
nice. There's nothing funky going on.
No.
And I said to myself, if I came home and my wife was dancing with a bunch of girls, and I would be like, hey, whoa, what a surprise. Like, hey, there's a party going on. There's a party going on. This is great. You should have let me know. I would have came home a little earlier. Right? He reacts like they're conspiring to defect and then become part of the Communist Party. Like, what is the big deal?
Communist Mambo Party.
It's a pinko party.
Yeah.
Like, what is... it's dancing.
Well, you said the line, too, before. Like, what's going on? Like, he didn't know what was going on there. Like, what did you think they were doing?
Yes.
For a minute there, I didn't know what you were doing.
What you were doing, right. Right.
Like, really?
And they believe that. Like,
they believe
really, you couldn't tell that we were dancing?
So, now, apparently, Joe.
Right.
Carlos is in the building for several days now.
Correct.
So they know he's there. You know he's got Fogarty's old flat.
Right.
Took over the flat. And he's in the building for a couple of days. So Ralph doesn't know anything until the party actually came down to his apartment. I guess was Alice's turn.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Maybe they were rotating.
That's a great point.
Maybe they were rotating apartments like
and
Mrs.
this
Stevens.
one got a little bit too. They ran a little longer.
Yeah.
So they would dance for maybe in the afternoons.
Yeah.
And then at 3, 4 o'clock, she'd go home,
start cooking,
and nobody's the wiser.
Yeah. Nobody's the wiser.
But this one went a little longer.
And it happened to be in his apartment.
His apartment. A party in my apartment? What a surprise. We'll go a little bit more. But and now he's starting his rant. What's the matter?
What is the matter with you, Ralph?
What's the matter with me? What's the matter with me, Alice? I come home from a hard day's work and you're going like this. And you want to know what's wrong with me?
Now, he doesn't know that his dinner isn't cooked yet.
No, he don't know that.
So, God forbid, your wife is dancing in the apartment with like 5 girls learning a dance from the new neighbor. Like, this is, like Michael said, the worst thing that could ever happen. Yeah. Not you find out that the house is flooded, or the electricity's out, or you've been robbed.
Yeah.
No, your wife. Oh my! Hey, what happened to you? Can you believe my wife? She cooked. She burned dinner the other night. My wife. I came home. She was dancing with the neighbors. Can you believe it? Oh my God! Like it was a grounds for divorce.
Yeah, grounds for divorce here.
And then of course his is the worst possible thing that could have happened.
Don't you owe Ralph me! How long has this been going on?
Only a few days, Ralph.
Only a few
when Mrs.
days.
Stevens found out that Carlos was a mambo dancer, she asked him if he'd teach it to us girls.
Oh, Mrs. Stevens asked him if he'd teach it to you girls.
You know what's interesting? The way he says that. Oh, Mrs. Stevens asked him. It sounds like he should have said, "Oh, Mrs. Stevens asked him to." Like, in other words, he's shocked that Mrs. Stevens was the one who
Mrs.
asked.
Stevens asked him.
Yeah, like it should have been like Mrs. Stevens asked him to. You know what I mean? But it almost. But I'm nitpicking here because whatever. But
a mambo dancer has to move in next door. It couldn't be a cook or a chef so he could teach how to cook.
It's a good line.
Ralph, what's so terrible about learning to do the mambo? Everybody does it now.
Everybody does it, Alice? Everybody does it?
Well, I don't mean everybody.
You said everybody does it. I don't know anybody does the mambo. I don't do it. Norton doesn't do it. My grandmother never did it. Tell me everybody does it.
All right, Ralph. Let's just not discuss it anymore.
We have to get to dinner.
Yeah. Your mambo days are over. You want to wiggle over to the stove and get my stuff.
So funny. So funny. And then, of course, Ed Norton.
Wait a minute. What's that?
Tuna fish. We're going to have tuna fish salad.
Tuna fish? What am I, a cat or something?
Line.
Why can't I have a hot meal?
I know why.
I'll tell you why I can't have a hot meal. Because you're doing this.
All right, Ralph. I guess the lesson lasted a little longer today, and I lost track of the time.
Oh, is that why? Because the lesson lasted a little longer? I suppose every man in this building is going to have a cold meal, including him. Well, let me tell you something. I know whose fault it is. I know whose fault it is. It's Carlos's fault. And it's not only the mamba. It's not only the mamba, Alice. Not by a long shot it isn't the mamba. It's the other things he does, the fancy manners he has and he parades around with. That's putting nutty ideas in your head.
Sure, Ralph. You think he's a troublemaker.
Nutty ideas.
Well, I have got news for you, Ralph. You and
Nutty
Norton
ideas.
and some of
You're
the men
gonna
in this
dance
building
and
can learn
want
an awful
good
lot
manners.
of things from Carlos. He happens to be a gentleman, Ralph, and that seems to be something that you have forgotten all about. He treats us like women. That's something you've forgotten too, Ralph. You seem to have forgotten that I am a woman.
I forgot that you're a woman? How could I? You're always yapping. What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that.
That's right, Ralph. That's all a wife is to you, Ralph. Just a handy utensil to have around the house. A wife can cook and slave and clean for you all day long. You would never think of saying something pleasant to her. You wouldn't even think of doing a simple little gentlemanly thing like tipping your hat.
Just have to get to this point.
Now, get my stuff! You're gonna do the mambo. You're gonna do the mambo, but it's gonna be in a mood.
Listen to the in it right here.
I know what you're going through. You don't have to tell me. I know what everybody in the house knows. You know whose trouble it is, don't you?
No, it's trouble.
You know
It's
who's
trouble.
making trouble? Carlos Sanchez.
Oh,
Sure. He wants everybody to do the mambo and teach him nice manners. All I know is that Alice was satisfied with me for 15 years. Now she wants to change me.
Oh, she's got a nerve. She's got a nerve. She knew when she married you she was getting the worst of it.
You can say that.
You could say that.
That's so funny. But he goes, he wants it. He wants it. What does he say? He goes, he thinks she's going to get them all to do,
To teach him manners.
Basically
teach him manners.
do the mambo and teach
them manners. Like, we don't need manners.
Like, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened.
I'm teaching him manners. You know what I hear, Joe, about Gleason this way? He's like actually ranting for a long stretch.
It's basically
It's a long
him
stretch. From
from
the time
moment
the
he
moment
won-
comes in,
or because
and
then he gets
get
that
out.
break.
Everybody out.
The
After
break for a
everybody
second,
out,
then everybody out,
then it continues at this rant,
and he's just killing it.
Oh, he's killing it.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
killing it.
Absolutely. And it's just so funny because it's rant after rant, great line, rant, great line, then that pause, calm, boom, back up, just absolutely hilarious. But it's almost like an observation.
It's kind of
it's
kind of
more of a talking point of the ludicrous, in this fantasy world that we talk about, the Honeymooners, the universe. And, of course, we always have to mention this because somebody might be like, we understand it's what makes the show great.
Yes.
The exaggeration.
Which is comedy. Comedy is
Of
always,
course.
especially the sitcom, it's always an exaggerate. Like even we talk about even their figures that they throw out, money figures and things and years and stuff like that.
Right.
It's always an exaggeration because the
to get the
exaggeration,
big laugh.
yes, the exaggeration gets the big laugh. It gets the point across what they're trying to say.
Right.
And it's all in the exaggeration. So of course this is an exaggerated reaction by Ralph, like
And in essence, every man in the building.
Yeah.
Because Ralph, Ed, and Mr. Manicotti are representing all the men in the building. That this is a crisis.
Yeah.
It's a crisis in the building.
Yeah, the crisis in the building. That guy's
now we have no water.
No, I don't care
not
about
there's
that.
no power.
No,
somebody's going to freeze to death.
No, I don't care about that.
No, somebody's teaching the girls to dance. And trying to teach the men nice manners.
I think we may have covered this in the past probably because we've talked about this episode, like the time of day that this lesson goes on.
Right.
Like,
I think I remember.
Now we don't know Carlos's schedule.
No.
Obviously, he dances at night, comes home. So when he
home.
comes, we don't know how he hangs out in the morning.
Yeah.
2, 3 o'clock. Who the hell knows when he comes? Especially it's New York, so it's up and going all night long.
Yeah.
So we don't know what time he comes home, gets his rest, and then does his thing. But we don't know so these lessons seem to be in the afternoon. Now probably none of these women work.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's 1955.
Correct.
So they're not working, and he's got all day long to teach them the Mamba. But they decide late afternoon around supper time, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Maybe 6 o'clock, and they're still dancing at 6. Alice, I lost track of the time. How could you lose track of the time? It's 6 o'clock at night. You've been home all day. And another thing, where did Mrs. Monacotti go when she got thrown out?
Yeah, really, where did she go?
My wife, is she here? What?
Yeah, where'd she go?
Where'd she go?
She go to Carlos's apartment? What's going on? little UN action.
Goes,
Get
I
the Italian, get the Spanish.
Yeah, I cook it for you. Don't throw away that potato salad. That's no good. They got a kitchen chicken that got your daughter. And a chicken facciamara.
Yeah. But
that's the
yeah, thank you, Michael, for inspiring us
that,
to get that whole thing. But of course, it's all done in the idea that, of course, it's all ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah, because it's ludicrous.
And that's why we do this show, because it's ludicrous.
Yeah, things like this do not happen in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Even back then.
It did, but it's just, obviously, it's a point to make us laugh, and it is, and we're still talking about it 65 years later.
Unbelievable.
And loving it.
All right.
And loving it.
All right. Well, listen, we're coming to the end here, and, of course, you can't have the end without this.
Oh, yeah.
And now, Tom, who is our first guest, please?
Our first guest, ready to leap the first hurdle on his way to the $99,000 answer, is our
courier from Parsippany, New Jersey, Joe Conti.
Thank you.
I see the expression on your face when you miss it. Okay.
All right, here we go.
So now it's going to be tough to top of last week's question. That was a good one. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. You guys were great.
You guys were killer.
Guys were killing us. Good ideas. Thanks. People like Norm who sent us little clips of, you know, we were trying to get that TV or not TV. Did he eat? Did he not eat?
Yep.
And it was Norton who actually put the cracker in his mouth.
Put the cracker in his mouth.
So thank guys for all. It was good. We got a good response.
Yeah. was great.
You know, it was good interaction between.
We love it. You know.
Oh God, yeah.
Listen, I have it right on my phone. I get to check it out
Yeah.
whenever, and Louis will, check his sundial and see
check
if
the
he's
sundial.
yeah, and then pull out the I don't know, the Apple Macintosh from 1983 and put it on his table. And then he chimes in.
I actually have Windows Express on my computer.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, you computer people out there are laughing. Windows Express. I wasn't even born when that came out. All right, ready, Joe?
Yes. All right.
All right, not as good as last week.
Okay.
But it's still prepared by Professor Walter Newman.
Gotcha.
And he said last week was good, so he want to take it easy and honest this week. So it's just a straight question. From the Sleepwalker.
Okay.
Okay, they're in bed, and Ralph has the ingenious idea with the bell on the wrist or whatever it is.
Okay.
And and they start to go to sleep, and Norton's thumbing through the magazine, remember? And he's making
Yes.
a lot of noise with the bell, and he's like really thumbing the pages, making a lot of noise. And
Okay.
What's the magazine?
Oh my, Is it Esquire?
You got it.
Is it Esquire?
Yes.
Va-va-va-voom?
Va-va-va-voom.
Oh, wow.
It's the same. And now I wanted to go. After I just came up with the question before I didn't have time to do this.
Okay.
Because I only had weeks, not enough time for me to.
You want to know if it's the same product?
Yes. I want
to
to. As the barber shop. I want to see if I can see if you could see the cover.
What about? Hey, buddies.
That's everybody's homework
Maniacs.
assignment. I want
Yeah.
You guys to figure it out
Yeah.
because I have no time.
The retiree
The retired guy
has no time.
has no time. So
that's a great.
So I want people to go through your things and find out from that's what the babysitter, and sleepwalker.
Yeah.
So we bring them up and see if the magazine is the same Esquire.
Yeah, if it's the same episode. Yeah.
Same Esquire magazine. Just
Yep.
see if we can actually get the
yeah,
cover.
see if it's the same
The
magazine.
cover. No, see if the cover. See if the
Right.
cover. It's the same cover.
If it's the same
figure on
cover.
the cover.
Yeah.
If it's the same magazine. So.
All right. Well, listen. Who can we thank for this episode? Thanks to Silk City Hot Sauce. All right. Thank you so much, Jeff Kingfish Slavinsky. Go to SilkCityHotSauce.com and get yourself some great hot sauce. Can't harm you, pal.
Mm-hmm.
And go to the when you're in the checkout, put RX in the coupon code. Get yourself 15% off and a free bottle of cherry sriracha.
Yeah.
All you guys, thank you for all of you guys who listen, email us, comment on Facebook, and some of you special pals like the Bibbs, Michael Bruce,
Yeah,
all you
everybody,
guys, Mark.
Kevin,
I mean, one day I'm going to just get
Ira,
a list
all
and we're
these
going to
guys,
start naming all these guys because you guys are so great. Don't forget to share the episodes or share some of the clips, the Honeymooner clips on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Share them with your friends. Throw them on your Facebook page. You know what? We can definitely use some more people listening to the show. You know, and don't forget, we still have T-shirts left.
We have some left.
We're out of double X's.
Yep.
We're sold. We still have some T-shirts left. Go to non-productive.com/honeymooners we're right on our page. And when you click on any of the episodes, there'll be the link right there for the T-shirt.
No, nothing there for Ralph.
Nothing. 32 to 50.
All sizes. 32.
Nothing there for Ralph. Who else can we thank? The Facebook group, the Honeymooners Raccoon Lodge with Joy and Brother Norton. Thank you guys so much. And check out my 1-hour comedy album called Happiness. You can download it anywhere you get your music. You can either pay $6 for it or $7 for it, or you can probably find it for free. But it's called Joe Conti Happiness.
Also get it for $4.95 down at Dowser's on DeKalb.
Dowser's. All right. Well, that's it. Number 76 in the books. For me, Joe Conti, and my pal Louis Fatz, we say we'll see you next time.
E pluribus raccoonum. Night all.
RX.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
We'll have to do this again real soon.
How about tomorrow night?
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.